What's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here. I just got two sets of minis in from WizKids. These are the Wild Shape and Polymorph sets. You can see there's a set 1 and a set 2, and one has 8 minis, the other has 7, and they're basically all about what characters or common uses, rather, for the Polymorph spell or the Wild Shape druid ability. Now, the reason you're seeing the back of the boxes is because OBS decided to remove my mic sources, and I filmed an entire series of unboxing videos with no sound. So I'm going to be doing voiceover over the rest of this. But more importantly, thank you to WizKids and V for sending these over for my review. Also, let me know what you think about the setup. I changed things up and built a mobile kind of studio unboxing rig here in this studio, and I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. So up first we have here is the giant octopus mini, and take a look at the sculpture. Look, you can see the eye there, all of the little detail on the little wrinkles on the body, the little texture on the back of the skull here of the octopus, and even all the little bits on the different suckers here. It's really sweet, and I'm really digging this new setup. I think it looks really good overall, and you can definitely see a lot of love was put into these. Now, I know I said that it was primarily for Wild Shape, but you could also use this for this is a giant toad, by the way. You could use this for maybe Find Steed or familiars and things, but look at the detail on this giant toad. Look, you can even see like the reflection of my ring light in the eye, how shiny that is. But you can see all the little nodules and all the little texture and detail in this frog, plus the tongue is really cool. I love the pose. This is, again, another one. This is probably my favorite of the entire set for sure. So next up here, we have the giant scorpion. And while I think I can almost see it looks like the eyes in the middle right there in the cephalothorax, and I think that that's pretty cool. I like that I can see all the little kind of chitinous nodules on the claws and the legs. My only real complaint about this is it's really muted. It is very just flat black. I think you can see that here, and scorpions come in so many different color varieties. I feel like you could have really done something to kind of dress this up. At least, though, like unlike the previous giant scorpion from WizKids, this is the right size. And then again, just for a comparison, look at how much more detail is put into the fur here on this giant boar mini compared to how flat black that scorpion was. Once again, I think a giant boar is one that is available as a Find Greater Steed option. Also potentially for conjuring animals or summoning nature ally. Well, I guess there's no nature ally in 5e, but you know what I mean. And then we have a tiger here. I don't know if we've gotten a tiger before, but I really like this. I like the, you can see the detail on the different stripe patterns here. The stance is pretty good, and even the face has a decent amount of detail, which is pretty sweet. Next up, we are going into, I think this is the giant shark. Now, I really like this mini. It is kind of still like a muted gray, but my biggest complaint about this is the teeth. Take a look at those teeth, right? Like, there's so many gaps in the teeth there. I just feel like that's, I don't know, it just doesn't look right to me. We can see there is a little bit of gradient with some white on the belly there, but overall this is another kind of very flat gray mini. I think you also could have taken a chance to put a gloss coat on it to represent the shiny cartilage. And then here we have just a generic cat, right? So this could be obviously, although the cat looks like it's seen some things, this could be for a familiar as well, right? Because cat is a familiar option, so that's something. And then lastly, in set 1, we have a rat. Nothing too crazy. You can see a little bit of my dog's hair sticking on the back there. But yeah, we've gotten rats in the past. But either way, this could again also be a familiar option. All right, here we go with set 2. Up first is the giant wolf spider. At least we have a little bit of coloration. We sort of have the banding on the back and then on the abdomen. I feel like giant spider gets more use than giant wolf spider, but either way, giant wolf spider gets more use early on. Next up, we have the dire wolf. Once again, this is definitely an option for Find Greater Steed. I feel like we've gotten dire wolves in the past, but I really like, you can see there's a little bit of the mold, you know, where the pieces are molded together here, the lines, but I like the stance and I like the face, the expression I think is really good on the direwolf. And next up we have a brown bear. I'm not really crazy about the fur pattern. It almost kind of looks like bark in some instances, but I do like the kind of one claw up. You can see again another dog hair there. I like the stance with the kind of roaring with the claw up. And following that up, we have the polar bear. Again, the jaw looks a little disjointed from the molds, but not too bad overall. Again, nothing crazy here, just a polar bear. All right, and then next up we have probably one of the most common familiar options out there is the owl. I really, really like this one a lot. It just feels a little large size to me, considering this is supposed to be a tiny creature, similar in size to the cat or the rat. I know it's the wingspan, but I feel like if you were to put this next to a medium WizKids mini, it would look about the same size, if not bigger. So, all right, now we have to zoom ourselves out here for the giant eagle. I did think it was interesting that we only got the giant eagle and a standard owl as opposed to a giant eagle and a giant owl. I know giant owl gets some use quite a bit, but I think maybe the thought was owl gets more generic use, so we'll go with the giant eagle. But I really like the gradient pattern here on the feathers in the back, and you can see the individual veins on the feathers. I also really like the kind of positioning with that floating ability here. And then last, certainly not least, is one of the pinnacles of polymorph and wild shape is the giant ape. I like that he's kind of got this stance where he's very King Kong in nature. Looks like he might be either coming down with a claw or throwing a rock. The only thing I wish is he had a little rock in his hand there for him to throw. But all in all, I think this is pretty good. We're going to bring the camera back in, and I'll kind of round us out and let you know my thoughts. So there you have it, folks. The WizKids Polymorph or Wild Shape and Polymorph sets 1 and 2. So I went to look around to see if I could find it for you. I looked on Amazon, and I was only able to find set 1 on Amazon, but it is retailing for $44.99, which matches up with what the information that WizKids sent to me. It looks the set 1 on Amazon says it's available and I'll be able to get it within 2 days. April 2021 was the set release date. I think I saw April 12th as well. So I looked around on shop.wizkids.com, on dndmini.com, and I could not find them there. So the only one, again, I could find was set 1. That's the one with the octopus and the giant toad and things. So I will put an Amazon affiliate link in the description if you'd like to go and pick that set up. Again, if you do use it, I benefit monetarily, very, very small amount if you manage to buy it through that Amazon link. But I'm curious what your thoughts are. Do you like these sets of minis? Do you think that they're something that you want to have in your collection? I imagine if they do well, we'll get more of these in the future, maybe covering some other common, wild shape and polymorph options. It's also interesting because we got things like the T-Rex in Fangs and Talons, which again was one of the other very common uses for polymorph or wild shape. I think just polymorph, but either way. And then I wonder if we'll get things for like the spirits, right? The summon aberrant spirit, summon bestial spirit, or whatever. All the new spirit summon spells we got in Tasha's Cauldron. I wonder if we'll get like a generic spirit thing for all of the different spells for that. That seems like a no-brainer as well. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you to my patrons over on Patreon for continuing to support me and the channel. I will see you all next time.